Welcome, one and all. We invite you to another exciting edition of
We walk alone.
Welcome to another exciting edition of Midwest Reviews. Today we're going to be reviewing a movie disaster that for some reason got good reviews. And what exactly was that?
Transformers Dark of the Moon. It's even painful to even say the title of the movie because it doesn't even deserve to have that title.
And a lot of you are like, wait a minute, that was a good movie. Well, I'm here to tell you that's your opinion because it was a bad movie in our opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because for the first 2 hours it had 10 seconds of Transformers and it was just Sam griping the whole time.
When it first started and they did the whole when they showed Cybertron when they showed it going to the moon, that was a cool deal, and then having
the gunfight with Sentinel ships
and then going to back in the 60s when they did the moon landing, that was a neat. I enjoyed that a lot. I thought, this might be a really good movie because it started out really good. And then Shia LaBeouf came onto the screen, and within 2 minutes of him being on the screen, I personally was already getting really irritated about him because he was just starting to complain about little things, and I'm like...
About everything.
Everything. And I couldn't handle it. I was like, okay, are you going to spend the whole rest of this movie like that? And...
he did.
What do you know?
He did.
What do you know? That's what he did.
I find it the funniest part of the whole thing is in the second movie he was the complete opposite because Optimus comes to him and says, "Sam, we need your help." And he's like, what does he say? He's like, "Optimus, I just want to have a normal life.
I just want to have a normal life.
I don't want to. This isn't my war. I don't want to be involved." And then the third one comes around and
he goes, I want to be somebody. I want to be a part of something,
I want to be something special.
I want to be something special, I did the whole saving the world before, but I want to be a part of something special, and it's like...
You turned it down.
You turned
it down.
And I'm okay with the fact that they didn't have Megan Fox in the movie, but at the same time, I think that they should have expounded a little bit more on that versus having him say that she just left him because...
Although it makes a lot of sense, though. If he's griping the whole time, I'd dump. If I was Megan Fox, I'd dump him too.
Yeah, because it was just a whiny little girl. But
I think, there's one scene where he screams in the movie for no apparent reason. The prime example is he's driving this little beat up piece of crap, Daewoo or something, and he's trying to get into the Autobots base. Well, the barrier gets raised on the car, and the car gets raised, and a few seconds pass, and he just starts screaming like a little girl, and for no reason.
I think they just gave him the script, and all the script was just like Sam's character screaming. And he said, and then Michael Bay was like, fill in the rest, you do whatever you want in the rest.
And there was 3 things he screamed. Just the girly scream like that, Optimus!
And then Bumblebee.
Bumblebee!
Yeah, it was always, Optimus! Bumblebee! Or, and it was like, what the heck? It's like, what?
I'm sorry, I didn't laugh at Sam doing it, but for him, for some reason, it's funny for him doing it. Oh my god!
I wanted to throw something at the screen when he started screaming because I'm like, dude, seriously? I'm like, stop! You're screaming,
dude. I'm glad that was free to watch on Amazon Prime because I would have felt. Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
I'll tell you that movie's so pathetic. And I think one of the things that really chaps me off is we made a whole list, and the thing was we went through that whole list on an attempt to do this video for it. It's 45 minutes. Don't worry, we're not going to make it that long. We're just recalling what's from our memory. I think one of the things that really chapped me off was Ironhide getting backshot by Sentinel Prime.
Mm-hmm.
Because they made him the main antagonist, even though the main antagonist was in it already, which they just sidelined. Which we're talking about Megatron, which we'll come back to that. But speaking of Ironhide, one of the things that I didn't like was there was no distinction between the Autobots and Decepticons. In this movie, they act more alike than in the previous two, because what is it that Optimus says in the first one in regards to humans?
We don't kill the humans.
We don't harm the humans.
We don't harm the humans.
Well, whenever it immediately opens up, the Autobots are threatening these security guards because they're trying to get into this plant, and it's like they'd already passed the security checkpoint, but all of a sudden they just transform and they have their guns out pointed at the humans. One of them, Dino or whatever, is some stupid Autobot, has blades on his arms, and he's like threatening them. And it's ridiculous.
I mean, I can see to an extent, because at first the humans were a little hostile towards them. I can see where they might have their views change a little bit, but I seriously doubt that in the course. And in the course of 2 movies, I doubt that their views would change that drastically, to where like humans are pieces of crap and they like to, they're all there is. You know, they want to harm us, and now we're gonna revolt back and just be like, you know what, you want to harm us? How about this? We're bigger than you. We'll pull our guns on you.
Did you ever see the posters for the movies? The very first one that came out, it had a picture of Decepticons and it said destroy. What did it have under the Autobot one? Protect.
Protect.
This one doesn't have that. There's a scene, I keep getting sidetracked, about Ironhide. There's a scene where him and Sideswipe take on the Dreads, which are twin paired Decepticons. Well, the battle's over. The Autobots have already killed the Decepticons. Well, for no apparent reason, there's a car that has survived this climatic battle between this duo fight. Ironhide just picks up the Decepticon corpse, slams it on this car, kicks the car into a shop, and then blows it up for no apparent reason. It's like, okay, so now you're acting like a Decepticon. I mean, maybe Michael Bay was like, oh, that'll make him look, EA and cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It makes him look like a Decepticon.
Yeah, it makes him look more like a jerk.
Okay, so he's trashed. Yeah, exactly. He's trashed a dude's car for no apparent reason and destroyed another dude's livelihood. For what? Just so he could blow up a dead Decepticon already?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is... Well, I'll just say one thing. I know there's stuff you probably want to get out too. If you've seen my review of Transformers Armada, Energon, and Cybertron, if you've watched it all the way through, you'll notice at the end I said that it was very stupid. Well, Transformers Dark of the Moon ties with how stupid that was. Okay? Here, before I get all caught up in my own tirade here, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just, when there was a couple of characters that were in the movie that I didn't particularly like. There was the that weird Asian dude from the Hangover movies that popped in the movie, and I don't know, I guess he was being controlled by one of the Decepticons, but he was so inappropriate in the movie, in that scene where he, forces Sam into the bathroom. There was no need to have such a scene where it made it look like it was sexual, something bad had happened. I mean, it was literally there's actually a video out there that this guy took the movie and edited all that stuff out to make it more and I actually thought that it made the movie a lot more sense versus having all that junk in there, because I was like, okay, it just was terrible. It was like...
Well, okay, and that brings up a good point, is there's a lot of points in this movie that Michael Bay tried to interject humor, and in the previous 2 movies, he'd done a halfway successful job. Well, in this one, a lot of the humor fell flat because it just wasn't funny. And a lot of it was rather vulgar, like that scene where he's pulling the information out of his underpants and, slapping it up against Sam's face. And it's just like...
Yeah. And then there's...
Do you really need to have that in there?
And then there's not only that, but then there's John Malkovich's character, which I think they tried too hard with John Malkovich, because in some of John Malkovich's previous movies, like in Red, I thought he was really funny in Red.
Yeah,
he pulled it off really well as the crazy psychotic,
They're
conspiracy guy, which was awesome. But then you have him in this movie to play the hard
crazy psycho boss.
Crazy boss, and he's throwing out stuff and F-bombs. I counted at least 2 in the movie. I mean,
it's just randomly thrown in there too. He's on the floor and he's acting all like a crazed dog, and he's just like, oh fuck.
Yeah. It's it was just like, what in the world? And then, of course, the main bad character that was Patrick Dempsey. I mean, him siding with the Decepticons, and for him to be like, this is the only option I have, and Sam and
That was just kind of
yeah, it was weak because I mean it's like you have a choice. You could not do this, but it's like
now they tried to explain it away by the Decepticon wristwatch that he had on, but he's not wearing it the whole time.
Yeah.
And so he could have been like, "Hey, dudes, there's Decepticons hiding, and they're forcing me to work with them."
Yeah.
And instead he's just like, yeah, they were my dad's client, and I inherited them, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna work for him."
Yeah, and it's all like, and they're trying to tell him, and explain to him that you're gonna be their slave when they take over the world. That's all they're gonna use you for. And he's like, I don't care. It's like they're talking to him about trying to reason with him about all the bad that's gonna happen to him, and all he hears is wah 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 wah. Like, I don't care. I don't give a crap.
I'll be a slave.
I'm just being. I don't care. It's like, it's like, dude. It's like, seriously.
And
it's like
we're ignoring the elephant in the room that surprisingly people are blind to. And it's this whole deal with Sentinel Prime taking over the Decepticons. We timed it, Megatron is in it for at most, keep in mind this is a 2.5 hour movie. How many minutes is Megatron in it?
5. I timed it. We watched it, and I timed it every time he was on screen.
Start and stop.
And start and stop as soon as it came on. And did he fight any of the Autobots? He didn't fight anybody. I mean,
Except
it was like,
well, he didn't. No, he didn't even fight any.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
Okay, he shot Sentinel, which was a good thing.
Yeah, he did shot Sentinel.
but
like,
he didn't. But like fair, like good fight.
Yeah,
oh.
this was not Transformers 1 when he was like, give me the cube, boy.
Like ripping people, ripping Autobots in half.
And yeah, this was like, that was cool. I mean,
that's Megatron.
Megatron
is hands-on. He is ruthless. He is in the center of the action. He is the main bad guy.
Yeah.
Not this one.
They have him on the sidewalk.
Well,
like
the main battle's
gangster.
going. He's just sitting there chilling like a hobo on
like
the
this,
street.
like, yeah, and he's just
like, oh, look at that. There's Cybertron. I'm glad it's safe. And then Rosie's like, you are an idiot. Okay, that brings another good point. So you can see we're getting upset about this because it's ridiculous because the main bad guy is Megatron. Okay, I understand they tried to make Sentinel the bad guy and he tried to take over, but that's stupid. Megatron should always be in command because he is the main protagonist and he's not in it for but 5 minutes out of a 2.5 hour movie. Hugo Weaving even said, I never felt like this was a real role because I just went in, did my voice acting, and then I was out. The guy that plays Megatron is saying this. Now, back to the deal with Rosie. I'll let you cover this one if you want. But, what was he, like, he used humans as a virus. Like, he would just kill them without a second thought.
Yeah, I mean, she's on top of him, talking to him like... Talking smack to him about, what a piece of crap he is, which which really anybody would do, because he's Megatron. Everybody would, if you were in that situation. But I mean, Megatron. Like, what did Megatron do in the very first movie when he saw he saw a human? He's like, disgusting, flipped him out. I mean, she is on top of him for crying out loud, and he's just like, hey, you know what? You're right.
Like, he goes in to kill her, and he's like, stops. Like, he's like, oh, hey, maybe you're right. And then he runs off.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I mean, it was like, it was cool that it was kind of cool that he had a change of heart, but at the same time, it's like, come on, you're Megatron. You should have been like, get away from me.
This movie is so messed up, I'm rooting for Megatron at the end of it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how messed up it is. The other two movies, you're like, go Optimus, go Optimus.
And even in this one, like, Optimus kind of turns a little bit into Megatron because, he started killing off some of the Decepticons and stuff. And
more ruthless.
In more ruthless ways. And here's another thing, here's another problem, that whole flaw with the movie was not the robot killings themselves, but the human killings. I mean, they were killing humans for no, like, I don't understand what the necessity was with killing humans when they would show the people just like disintegrating and stuff.
Well, the people would run, the laser would come, they would like exploding skeleton.
Exploding skeleton. I didn't understand that. It was
okay.
There was none of that in the first two movies.
They were trying to make them slaves to repair their planet, yet they're trying to kill off one whole city, Chicago, that is teeming with humans, yet they're going to kill them all off? Where did the logic go?
I don't know. Logic went out the window way long
and see,
time ago,
we're avoiding the main first 2 hours of the movie. This is at the very end of the movie that we're talking about. Because the first 2 hours, you'd be like, are you talking about Transformers? Because the first 2 hours would be nothing but Sam.
It's like the Adventures of Sam Witwicky.
Yeah, that's my problem with the first and the third movie. First movie, it was okay. I'll give it that. I didn't like the fact that Transformers weren't in it very much. They were in it more in that movie than they were in this one.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what chaffs me. I go see a movie that's titled Transformers, yet they aren't the main focus, and they aren't in it for very long. The last 20 minutes, you see more Transformers than you see the other 2 hours and 10 minutes of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, half of that last 20 minutes still has Sam running around like a little girl. Okay?
Mm-hmm. And then there was another scene that he had brought to my attention, and I think you can remember it more than I would, and it has to do with Sam. And he was hanging on to a helicopter, wasn't he?
No, they hijacked a Decepticon fighter.
That's right.
And this is, why don't
Yeah.
we just both go over
Yeah.
how stupid this is? Okay, so they're on top of this tower where Sam's girlfriend was being held captive. Okay, and there's enough room in there for Bumblebee and his girlfriend, but not him.
Not him. Not him.
This fighter jet's flying at some odd 100 miles per hour, and he's like,
And he's hanging on to it.
on the outside.
On the outside, hanging on to it.
He's like, I'll just hang on out here. And so it's flying through the city and hit by lasers from other fighter jets. And he's just like, I'm fine. And then what happens?
It crashes like to Earth, and like it rolls like 300 times. It does all this roll,
and he's like, yeah, I'm fine. I don't have a scratch on me, even though this ship just crashed to the ground and rolled about 300 times over. I get up and I'm fine. I'm Superman.
And you know what? I understand that these movies like this, they're fiction. I understand they're made up stories just to appease audiences when they go and see them, and I understand that. But, what happened to the realistic side of things? I mean, when I go to a movie, I don't expect the whole thing to be realistic, because that's why they call it a story. It's about space robots, but seriously, when something bad happens, think about the last one that they did. And they kind of explained this, but you remember how Shia LaBeouf had a car accident, injured his hand. They explained that when in the second one he actually did. In one scene they show him getting hit, and he ends up how he gets the cast and the injured hand. So that was legitimate. I could see him hurting himself in the movie that way, but they didn't do that with this. And they make it like he's Superman. Like
he would have been paced on the ground.
It would have been just like in the Avengers when Hulk beats up Loki. He would have had him on the ground, and he would have been down there just in pain. Yeah, it was like, because it just anybody got this.
I think that besides Megatron, that's one of our biggest peeves is how ridiculous that was.
Yeah, the action sequences they had some good action sequences, but the majority of them were just over the top, way, because like I said, I think Michael Bay was thinking this was his last movie of Transformers, so he was thinking, let's just go all out and let's do as much as we can, because this will be the last time I do Transformers. But now look what's happened.
Okay, our camera died, so we had to switch to an iPad. Anyway, like Cameron was saying, Michael Bay was trying to wrap this thing up, and really, it just felt rushed.
It did feel rushed. It felt like I said, it really did feel like he was just trying to cram too much into one movie. To me, it was very similar to the way they ended the original Spider-Man trilogy with Tobey Maguire. They added too many characters in the movie all at once to try and wrap it up. And it was like, it was like.
And
I'll tell you, I understand totally that they, if they're thinking this is the last movie, they want to try to, do something to make it completely done with it. But
it could have been more tasteful.
It could have been more tasteful. They could have left stuff out for a possibility of doing. Because if you look online, they actually are working on Transformers 4 now. Who would have thunk it? They already are now. So it's like there was really not necessary to throw all that stuff in, because they could have saved some of that stuff for the fourth one.
And I really think that Megatron can come back. because in all the previous shows he dies like 3 or 4 times, just like Optimus, and he always comes back. Now, you know, I like the character of Megatron in the movies. I don't like where they took him in the third one, but you know, I like how it seemed. You know, first movie we kind of got a glimpse of him. Second one it was expounded upon. I like the direction that they've taken it there. Starscream, he can come back too. They probably won't bring him back, but the thing is if you're going to do classic Transformers, and I know that this is a movie universe where things don't follow according to a show, which that's what made it so interesting and so awesome. But you want to see Starscream, you want to see Megatron, you want to see Optimus, you know, and I could care less about Bumblebee, even though they tried to make him this focal point. You know, okay, throw him in there too. You know, I want to see Jetfire. He's a Autobot jet. It started out as I'm such an idiot. He's already been in there. Never mind. See, this third movie makes you retarded because you forget the other two. It's hard to relate them.
It's hard to relate. Yeah, you know? Actually, I have bought the first 2 movies, so there's no point in me even saying if I was going to buy them, because I already did. I already bought just the first 2. There's no way I would buy this third one.
Well,
I'm not gonna waste my money.
Yeah, there's another elephant that we're avoiding, and that's the one of Spock. Oh, I'm sorry, I mean Sentinel Prime. But they were so alike, I couldn't tell.
Oh yeah.
You know, Leonard Nimoy, and don't get me wrong. I like Star Trek. I like Star Wars. I like that. I like a lot of science fiction. So the little nods to Star Trek were okay, although it was kind of like kissing Leonard Nimoy's behind. You know, because what does Sentinel Prime say? The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Okay, Spock Prime. It was just like, and then
having them watching it on TV, they're watching the original Star Trek, and who appears? Spock. It's like, okay, enough
kissing up to him.
Enough kissing up to him. You know, it's like, all right. And I will say this, you know, that it was all fine and dandy, but you know, the level of action in that movie was just, I don't know. I recently went to a screening of White House Down, and I know some of you have probably seen it and thought the movie sucked, but, you know, the movie had a lot more action in that movie than in Transformers 3, though the acting wasn't that great in that movie, but there was a lot more action in it, and it was more enjoyable because there wasn't a whole lot of people getting, you know, massacred, and they weren't showing people getting blown up and, you know, their skeletons falling to the ground and blowing stuff up. I mean, that was pretty messed up, but yeah. But anyways.
But you know, and I mean, the thing is this is a shorter review than our other one because, like we said, we just the first time we watched it, we did a review after, and we were a little
on edge
because it aggravated us that much. Yes, and the thing is, it was just. The thing is we're not mentioning a lot of stuff because it's pointless too. Like I said, if we were to bring out all the points that we had written down on that sheet, it was like half a sheet of paper that, you know, writing about this so small. If we were to bring that out, you'd be like I said before, you'd be like, are you really reviewing Transformers? No. This movie is not a Transformers movie. It had Transformers in it. It's like saying we're gonna make a movie about Batman and having it be about Alfred, and maybe Batman's in it for 5 minutes. That's the equivalent of what this movie is. Don't get me wrong, I like Alfred and I like Batman, but the thing is that's just a point of illustrating. I understand Michael Bay wants to have the human perspective because people that aren't longtime fans need somebody to relate to. In the first 2 movies, you can do that. You relate to Sam. In this third one, there's a barrier there. You don't relate to him. And that's Michael Bay's key to relating people. Now, getting back to this point about the difference between spending time focusing on him and the robots, the thing is you can have that human key, you can do it successfully, and you can actually make it about what the title is about, which is not Sam Witwicky,
but Transformers.
I'm sorry, what was it about again?
Transformers.
I'm sorry, are you sure it's not the adventures of Sam Witwicky? What is it about again?
It should be about Transformers, but it's about Sam Witwicky.
Oh, so it's supposed to be Transformers?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I just totally forgot. It's about Transformers? Are you sure?
It's supposed to be.
Oh, okay. I couldn't tell. Anyway.
You can tell this is how aggravated we are watching this. So, but you know, and we are, you know, this is how we feel about the movie, and you guys are more than entitled to your opinion. But we will say this, that you know, kind of like I guess like a part 2 would be coming soon, where it's gonna be us doing stop motion with the figures.
Yeah, we're going to be ripping it.
We're going to be ripping it a lot better than this one. This one's just a little quick review, and we're going to rip it a lot more in the next one.
We're going to attempt humor.
Yeah, attempt humor.
And hopefully we'll not fall flat on our face like Michael Bay, or we'll be hypocrites. But the thing is I just kind of review the humor fell flat on its face. It was very vulgar and it was unnecessary. Mm-hmm. The amount of time spent on Sam was disproportionate to and the Autobots turning into Decepticons, you know, just the overall over the top, overdone, unnecessary stuff at the end. Shockwave was in and out of it, and Shockwave's one of my favorites. You know, they killed him off, killed Starscream, killed Megatron, killed Ironhide. You know, I wish they would have killed Sam, but. You know, it's different.
And maybe, who knows, maybe in this 4th one they'll explain what happened to Sam. Maybe
be like, he got killed by a rogue Decepticon. Yes!
I would be so excited. I'd be like, no more Sam Witwicky. That's not to say that we don't like Shia LaBeouf as an actor, because I mean he does good roles with some of his previous movies. He did pretty good, but this role it wore out. His character wore out.
First and second movie was fine.
Yeah.
Third movie, we disconnect.
Yeah.
And you know. Hopefully this 4th... Michael Bay said that he realized the 4th one needed to be like the last 20 minutes of Dark of the Moon. So, hopefully he'll do good.
Hopefully.
You know, I don't know. It's just like... We can only hope for the best for this next Transformers movie. You know, they already have a modern version of a cab over, which for non-long-time fans, in the original series, Optimus Prime was a red cab over truck from the 80s. So anyway, it's kind of a nice homage. Maybe there's a character called Nemesis Prime, which is the evil version of Optimus. Which, if they don't have Megatron, Nemesis Prime could work. Another Decepticon that's a leader is called Motormaster. He's a semi-truck. So you know it works.
But the thing is if they decide to bring Megatron back in the movie. We don't want Megatron to be sitting on the sidelines like some kind of boring robot that's like, I don't care anymore. I'm just
gonna sit here and be.
I'm just gonna sit here and be. Yeah, they need to involve him a lot more if they're gonna use him. They don't need to be using him and putting him on the side. That's like having a. I know that he's not part of the Thunder anymore, but this would be like having James Harden sitting on the bench during a Thunder game.
No. You gotta think bigger. It's like Kevin Durant sitting on the bench.
There you go. It'd be like Kevin Durant sitting on the bench. It's like, he is the main, he is the guy that I know it's a team effort, but still,
he's a big star.
He's a big star.
Megatron is a big star.
Megatron's a big star. I know all the other characters work around with him, but he is the guy.
It's like, well, we still have Russell Westbrook out on the floor. I don't care. Optimus was in the movie a lot. I want Decepticon Durant back in.
Yeah. Please. So, anyways, this is one of
our most
interesting
animated reviews.
Animated,
you can tell we're really into it because we like the franchise. We love the franchise. It's a cool franchise, except for the third one. Mm-hmm. Like we keep saying, okay, if you like it, I respect your opinion. We respect your opinion. That's okay. That's cool. We personally don't like it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people that we talk to, that are friends, they do not. A married couple of ours, friends of ours, we explained the movie to them as best as we could without any bias or anything. We're very biased in this review, but the thing is, we're just bringing facts to you. We're trying to not be biased. Point is, we talked to them, we told them, and he said, that sounds like a horrible movie.
Yeah, just telling them the plot line and some of the things that we talked about here.
We weren't even animated just a little bit. But the thing was, I'm sorry, go ahead.
But when we talked to them about it, because they were going to see it, they wanted to see it, and when we told them about basically the whole movie, what it was about, and some of the things we brought out, we talked about to them, they could see just from what we talked about that this wasn't going to be a good Transformers movie. It wasn't going to be a good storyline. That's what they're just like, okay, so this Transformers movie is one to bow out of. And I'm like, basically, yes. Because it's not anything, like we've been saying, it's not anything about Transformers. It's about Sam Witwicky, so...
And, you know, the human element in this one was just overplayed.
Mm-hmm.
Overplayed. There, like we were talking about earlier, the realistic element of it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know.
So, but anyways, we don't want to stay on here too long. It looks like we're running 11 minutes.
There's about 10 on the
Yeah.
campsite.
So,
Anyway, it's going to be a little bit of a longer review, but the thing is we wanted to bring out just some of the key points that we remembered, because it's really those things that stand out to us, because the rest of it would have just been wasting your time, and that's never what we want to do.
mm-hmm.
Anyway, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap this up. If you've seen our previous review, it was on the
Ultra Sabers, the Light Strike,
and the Avengers.
And the Avengers stuff.
So anyway, go check out that video. We don't put links in the boxes anywhere, as you can tell. I've not figured out how to do that yet.
Well, leave your comments.
Yes.
Let us know what your thoughts are.
On Dark of the Moon.
And Dark of the Moon.
I mean,
And other videos. So that
yeah, check out our channel. We've got a whole bunch of reviews.
we have about 6 videos so far. We have an album that he downloaded himself and put on there.
It's a mixed album of Linkin Park. It was Linkin Park, Nickelback, Creed, and Fuel.
Yeah.
Fuel with Brett Scollins. Anyway, that's different from. It's not a review. If you don't like our reviews, if you like music videos, it's a whole album called Heavy Hitters. Check it out. And anyway, this has been kind of a review of the adventures of Sam Witwicky.
This is Midwest Reviews.
Signing off. You know, there's always stuff at the beginning of these videos that I always take out. Maybe I should just put all those together. Anyway.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of The Twilight Zone. No, I'm just kidding.
We better hurry up. I don't know how long this battery's got. Let me look.
Oh crap. So, I'm thinking, what's it say?
You know, there's always stuff at the beginning of these videos that I always take out.